I mean, one of the most important things for us is the setting. I mean, we did it for a number of reasons. One of it's just, that it has such amazing architecture. It's such a beautiful city. And we thought it really fit the theme of our game, which, we follow these guys go on this journey where they start out very professional and very clean and trying to do the right thing. And then they go in and all these terrible situations really make them start to fall apart and, just go through this kind of dark place psychologically. Story overall, as you mentioned, was originally inspired by Heart of Darkness, but we've kind of gone our own direction with it, and we've honestly taken inspiration from a ton of places. So, movies like shows like Generation Kill, movies like Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, that kind of thing. Really, just the whole genre, and then also some of it's just from events in real life. We have a military advisor on the game that we've been talking with, and he's had some crazy stories and just given a more personal perspective of what it's like to be in these kinds of situations, what it's really the difficult decisions that real soldiers have to make.
RPG, second floor! You're in the open! Take cover, goddammit!
Oh, we have the M249 light machine gun, and we need to know how to reload it, because like in some games they'll do it this way and some other, and then you'd watch footage and it wouldn't be totally clear, and then he'd really, break it down for you why there's different ways that you can reload that weapon, for instance.
He's done!
Because we wanted to make it sort of show the human side, sometimes you have to take a few liberties. So, even down to silly things like you would never say the word right to refer to a direction in combat, because it can be ambiguous if you're saying, right like affirmative or right the direction. But just to add some variety and, some familiarity, like that's something we do, is we'll say like it's on the right side. So little things like that where we break with reality. But overall, we really try to give it an authentic feel. The sand gameplay is something that's pretty important to us. So, of course, we have this city that we've wiped out with these sandstorms, and it would be a shame if we didn't use that. So, as you mentioned, one of the things that you can do is use these sand avalanches, where you can just bury people underneath tons of sand and kill them that way. Another more systemic way that we use sand is if you throw a grenade and it lands in the sand, then it'll kick up a huge dust cloud, and that'll cause people to be stunned, bent over and coughing. Of course, it also kills the guys that are closer to the explosion. And then we also have these sand falls where you can shoot it. You'll see some sand trickling from the ceiling, and then you can shoot at that and cause some more sand to come down on people's heads, and that'll stun them as well. And then, of course, there's the sandstorms, which really just bring the combat really up close and personal and change the whole dynamic of how everything feels. And things like long-range weapons, of course, aren't going to be very useful if your aim's swaying all over the place from the wind.
Everyone be cool. We got civilians down here.
Nice place.
You guys seen this shit? Silk curtains?
I mean, I would say the biggest thing, honestly, is our narrative. Just watching these characters sort of dissolve psychologically as they go through the story is something that I haven't seen before, and especially the way that we sort of weaved it into the core game. So, obviously in the script, there's moments where you see their stress and you see how they react to the situation. But even just, if you're sitting there in combat, the way they speak, even just down to I'm throwing a grenade, or I'm reloading my gun, or I'm telling my squad mate to go kill this guy. At the beginning of the game, they might be very professional and be like, okay, Tango by the door, take him out. By the end of the game, there's going to be like, kill that son of a bitch, And it's also reflected in their visual appearance as well. So, at the beginning, they're very, very clean, very pristine looking. And by the end, they're bloodied and bruised and torn up and dusty. And I think just these little details really help reinforce the story we're telling and help make it very believable as you watch these people sort of fall apart.